Hello, my name is Samantha Yee, and today I'm going to be covering in detail the current unemployment rate in the economy, the current rate of economic growth, inflation in the economy, and finally the current account for the US right now. So, to start us off, I'm going to be talking about the unemployment rate, and the current rate that I found was approximately 3.8%. And some of the circumstances leading to this rate include influences by factors such as pandemic recovery, labor market adjustments, as well as economic policies. And some of the historical context behind this is that this is historically low, and this is indicating a strong labor market. So typically the unemployment rate has been pretty healthy, and usually that would be around 3% to 5%. And this range reflects a balance where most people who want to work can find jobs while allowing for normal job transitions and seasonal employment changes. But COVID-19 pandemic definitely has significantly disrupted the balance. As you can see here, in the early months of the pandemic, it was dramatically spiked, and over time, it went down greatly. So moving on from this, as for economic growth, the current rate is around 2.1% annually, which is subject to change with new data, but for the economic phase, the economy is definitely experiencing an expansion, I would say, because the economy sort of bottomed out after the pandemic, so it is definitely increasing from here on out and growing again. And the health of growth, so the growth rate is found around a 2.3%, which is definitely considered healthy because it suggests that there is a stable economic expansion without overheating. So moving on to inflation rates, the current rate is approximately 3.7%, which could be above the Federal Reserve's target, which is 2%, which is indicating that it might be too high. So here I've just attached a quick image of 2024 versus 2023 inflation rates on simple things, and you can tell how much it has increased over time. So kind of circling back to that a little bit, you don't want it to be too high because this could put at stake consumer purchasing power. People will not want to buy things when it is super expensive, and definitely can cause an uncertainty in the economy. To follow up on that, the Fed's action, they might consider some monetary tightening, such as increasing interest rates, or to try to control inflation more. So the current account for the US right now is that we are experiencing a current account deficit. So this means that when the value of imports of goods and services and investments are exceeding exports. So this is neither good or bad, but it can reflect a strong domestic demand on or reliance on foreign capital. So what this really means is that a deficit is not exactly problematic, but it can definitely reflect a robust economy and strong investment opportunities. But if these problems do continue, and these deficits may lead to increased foreign debt and the reliance on foreign capital. So to go back and conclude everything that I've talked about throughout this video, the current economic situation shows a 3.8% unemployment rate, which means that people who want to work can find jobs thanks to the recovery of the pandemic and helpful policies. The economy is also growing about 2.1% per year, which is healthy and does support job creation and consumer confidence. Although inflation is a concern, and it is currently sitting at 3.7%, which is above the Federal Reserve's goal of 2%, which may lead to the federal increase of interest rates to keep prices under control. And finally, the US is dealing with a current account deficit, which does mean its imports is more than its exports, which can show a strong domestic demand, but we need to be careful handling this to ensure balanced trade and sustainable economic growth.